Living large in Florida. You still golfing out there?
Oh, I am. My game's not getting much better, but I have my moments.
You have your moments. Did you play better than Tiger did this last weekend?
No.
He had a
What was he?
9 over, I think, on Saturday, and he backed out with back problems
Oh
and
yeah.
didn't play Sunday.
Look, it always amuses me when he's playing well, he's like strutting along, and as soon as he starts playing bad, it's like, oh man, I can't move.
That's like you're bowling. When you bowl and then you point at your shoulder. if it's a strike, you're like, yeah. If it's a gutter ball, you shoulder.
Yeah, but I'm not pointing because of pain. I'm pointing because I dropped my shoulder, and I know it's right
I
when
know.
I do it. It's like
I've been
keep
having
this up.
I've been having shoulder problems, and every time I tell Rita that, she just points at my shoulder just like you did. Like excuses. Like seriously, like that hurts right there. If I go like this, I don't know. I might have arthritis or something. Who knows?
No,
Who cares?
I know. Nobody cares about my bowling or my golf game.
For real, for real.
So
All right. Well, we got some interesting stuff today. It's off season, so there's not a lot to talk about, but Terry deal apparently far apart. We'll get J-Dub's feeling on that. We'll talk about the Daron Payne news again. We will talk about the $100 million land bought in Woodbridge, Virginia. Goodell not aware of the votes. And we'll talk about this team. And are we the team to beat in the NFC East right now? That's what we'll talk about. But first, we'll start with the dad joke of the week.
we're always the team to beat.
Yeah.
All right. What did the one DNA strand ask the other DNA strand?
Is this a mirror? What?
Do these jeans look okay?
Do these jeans look okay? Well played. I like that one. That's a good one. That was a solid one.
I only have so much to work with, so I try to pull the best one. So
There you go.
not the
All right.
worst one out there.
What do you got?
All right. Well, I was trying to figure out something for what do you got, and something popped up I found very
Oh, okay.
interesting. You may not find it interesting. I don't know. Wait, why can't I find the other anyway, Barry Sanders.
Okay.
His
Favorite running back of all
Heisman,
time?
his Heisman Trophy year.
Mm-hmm.
I got the stats. And I thought it was like, wow. I mean, maybe he's playing against Podunk University. I don't know, but here his stats for 1988. So first game, 18 carries, 178 yards, 2 TDs. Next game, 20 for 157, 2 TDs. The next game, 33 carries for 304 yards, 5 TDs. 24 for 174, 4 TDs. 35 for 189, 4 TDs. 25, 154, 2. 37 for 320, 3 TDs. 39, 215, 2. 37, 312, 5. 32, 293, 4, 44 for 332 for 4, and 29 for 222 and 5 TDs. It's like that was his Heisman win. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, just in case you didn't follow that, that's going to add up to over 2,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, and an average of 7.6 yards per carry for the year.
I saw that. I was like, wow. I don't care who he's playing. It's like,
the only one that I think could like even compare to that would be LaDainian Tomlinson's best year of the 2006 season. Let me see if I can find it. I didn't know you were going to be talking about this, but that stat line to start the year was pretty gnarly. Let me see if I can find it. I think what did I say, 2006? Because he had 28 touchdowns on the year. But yeah, this is a run of games he had at the NFL level. 25 carries, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. 18 carries, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. 22 carries, 104 yards, 4 touchdowns. 20 carries, 105 yards, 3 touchdowns. 19 carries, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. 28 carries, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns. 28 carries, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns. 28 carries, 103 yards, 3 touchdowns. 25 attempts, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Christmas Eve, he had a bad game. 22 carries, 123, no touchdowns. Like,
Yeah, that's impressive too. But according to this other thing I'm looking at, so
mhm,
the regular season was 344 attempts for 2,600 yards, 39 total.
yeah.
So he proceeded in the bowl game against um, Wyoming, had 29 for 222 and 5 TDs. So he finished the season with 44 TDs.
Oh, the in the bowl game?
Yes. They won 62-14.
Where'd he go to school? I already forgot. I just looked at it and I forgot
Oh
already.
wait, hold on. Oklahoma State.
Yeah, well, that's Big 12, so that's not that's not sorry players.
No, he played let's see some of the competition. So Miami, Ohio, okay, not a big deal.
No.
Texas A&M,
Yep.
Tulsa,
Yeah.
Colorado, Nebraska. He
Okay.
was
Yeah, Nebraska used to be good
yeah,
back
35
then.
for 189 for 4 TDs against Nebraska. Missouri, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa State, Texas Tech, and
Yeah.
then Wyoming in the bowl game.
Wow.
But it's like a boy, I always use the expression a boy among men or a
A
man
man
among
amongst
boys.
boys. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Wow.
Hey,
Well,
Santiago,
that's a
by
good
the
one.
way, I know he said hi. I didn't want
Yes.
to.
What's up, Santiago? 7 of you in the chat. What's up, guys? How's it going? My what do you got is yeah, I'm all right. So first off, we're not having a show next week. So next week it'll be skipped to we'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm going on vacation. I was initially just supposed to be a wedding this weekend up in Wisconsin, but then we decided to stay the week and because I went to school up there, I was gonna hang out with some friends and see people and see campus and stuff like that. Well, just last night we came up with the bright idea of the middle of the week instead of just hanging out in the area of Illinois and Wisconsin, we're going to drive another 10 and a half hour, 11 hours or so to Mount Rushmore. So we're going to see Mount Rushmore during the week of Memorial Day weekend. So we'll see what they have. So that'll be cool.
Maybe some fire. They might have some fireworks going on up there if they don't get shut down again.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to be driving about 14 hours tomorrow night through the night to then get there Friday, maybe sightsee in Chicago a little bit, but then keep going towards the wedding. Rehearsal dinner is Friday night, wedding is Saturday, hang out with some friends for Memorial Day, Sunday and Monday, drive all day Tuesday out to Rapid City, South Dakota, hang out all day Wednesday, drive back to Southern Illinois to hang out with another buddy for the couple of days. And then we're going to be driving back here. So we're going to put like 3,000 miles on our car or more in just
Oh,
over a
skin them
week.
alive. You're right. He's actually going to need a vacation after this vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful state. Yep, we'll see. What's up, Gabriel? Is Pepsi really not going to hold a Super Bowl? Is Pepsi really not going to hold a Super Bowl?
I'm not sure what that means. I saw it and I wasn't sure the.
What up, TT? I'm not sure about that either. But
Is he talking
anyway,
about a halftime show or something? I don't get it. But maybe you could clarify.
I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, it'll be fun though. I think it'll be cool. I've never seen Mount Rushmore. My wife always wanted to see Mount Rushmore, so we'll see that for the first time. And I also have a buddy that lives in Rapid City, so we'll hang out with him as well. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to do this next week and a half. So it'll be fun. I got one more day of work, and then we're gonna be driving a lot. But
Safe
anyway,
travels and have a ball.
thanks. Hopefully we should. It should be a good time. There's a lot to do. All right. Well, let's hop into this Commanders news. All right. And
It's always good. It's always good news when you're talking about the Redskins.
absolutely,
I know the Commanders.
there is no other. There is no bad, right? All news is good news.
Any
All press,
publicity is good
yeah.
publicity.
All press is good press. That's
Yeah.
that's the way Dan Snyder apparently lives his life the last couple of years because he's been getting a lot of press. Yeah, he's been getting beat. That's for sure. But first, we're going to talk about Terry McLaurin not being at OTAs, and also Daron Payne walks off the field apparently towards a contract dispute. But first, Terry McLaurin, are you surprised at this point? We are May 25th that we are apparently still, quote, far apart on the deal with Terry McLaurin. It's one thing, I'll say this before you go, is like, I'm not surprised the deal is not done because I think they still are waiting on Landon Collins' money to be cut so that they can maybe put a big signing bonus attached so that some of the money from his contract gets taken off the books this year so that in later years it's not as high of a cap hit. So I'm not surprised it's not done yet, but I am kind of surprised that they're apparently still far apart according to reporting. What do you
Have
think
you
about
heard
that?
any numbers?
I
That's
haven't.
what's far apart. I mean, to
They just
me,
were vague.
I mean, I know in my world, $1 million would be far apart. In their world, it's probably $5 million or more. So, and look, who's going to blame Terry? It's a huge market right now where he can make big money. So he's going to hold out as long as he can. If he wants to play in Washington, then he's going to try to hold out as long as he can and get as much as he can. But I'd like to know what far apart is a relative term,
Mm-hmm.
and it depends on who you're talking to. You know, it's like if you're
Yep.
dealing with somebody to buy a car $1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 is far apart. In the football world, I'm guessing it's probably 10 million would be considered far apart.
I don't know if it's that. That would be nuts if it was that far. I think 5 million, the first number you said, I think is probably in the ballpark. But I have an opinion on which way I think it's going right now. Here's the question: do you think that Terry is just asking for way too much money, and that's why they're far apart? Like we came in with a reasonable offer, maybe a little low, but somewhat reasonable, and then Terry's like, what are you doing? We're way up here." Or do you think that Terry is more quote unquote reasonable, maybe a slightly high, and we're coming in at like 21
Low
million
ball,
or something
yeah.
like that? So are we lowballing, or is Terry up over his skis?
No, I would be more likely to think it's the Redskins trying to lowball him. By the
Yeah.
way, Jarris, that's funny. I like that.
John Del Rio and Tim Turner. Yeah.
Gotta love the crowd here. They got such a great sense of humor.
I don't care what if he's a top 5 receiver in the NFL and only 26. If it's 25 million per year, I don't care. Just pay the man. Well, all right. So you think we're lowballing him? So AJ Brown, which is a guy that got drafted the same year he did as a second round pick. AJ Brown's had a good career so far. I believe he's gotten 1,000 yards each of the first 3 years. Terry had 900 his first year, and he's gotten over 1,000 the last 2 seasons. Do you think that? And I think he got 25 million per year exactly. AJ Brown did. So let's assume that's the benchmark, right? They're comparable receivers, came the same year, drafted around the same time, similar numbers, all this kind of stuff. Let's assume that's the benchmark. So if we're lowballing, where do you think the team is right now? What would be your guess that the team is coming in trying to get?
Oh, I think 21 is probably a pretty good guess, or closer to 20 million than 25. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But whatever happened, and maybe this is a dangerous road to go because you could have teams that basically take advantage of you. But why don't they just say, look, you go shop around, you find the best deal, and we have the right of first refusal. So if you go out and find 25 million, we could say, nope, we'll give you 25 million, stay here. You find 27, we can say, okay, that's too high, you go.
Well, he's under contract for 1 more year, so that he can't talk to other teams right now because he still has this 4th year of his rookie deal. So he can't. If that,
okay, you're right. So that they're trying to get in. They're trying to get under the
before he hits the open market.
Right.
Yeah, so they're trying to slide in before he hits the open market. I am agreeing with you. I think that Terry is probably around 26 million right now, maybe slightly above the what AJ Brown got because he believes he's a better receiver. I believe he's a better receiver. A lot of around the league doesn't, so I don't know how that goes. But most of the league would probably right now put AJ Brown above him. I don't.
Okay, can I just stop you for a second and say how stupidly ridiculous it is that we're talking about 25 million or more for a freaking receiver? It boggles my mind. But go ahead. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, well, Devontae Adams just got 28 million a year. After trading a first and a second round pick, the Raiders traded 2 picks, high-level picks, and then still paid him $28 million a year. And then on top, the Eagles also traded a first-round pick, maybe some extras, I don't know, but at least 1 first-round pick and paid him $25 million. So Terry's also
we're
probably
just
looking
talking
at that.
stupid money.
Yeah, Terry might be also looking at that as like, hey, you don't even have to trade a pick for me right now. I'm homegrown. Where's my 27 a year? Where's my 26? Like, you don't have to give up any capital. Like, you're gonna have to pay me with a guy. Yeah, skin alive. Hill's at 30, but Hill is not really at 30. Technically, the numbers are at 30, but he's really at 23.5 million because the final year of his deal is only 5 million of it's guaranteed, and he's a $50 million cap hit. He ain't playing on $50 million. They're gonna cut him. So he's not gonna see all of the money of that. But technically speaking, the contract is written 4 years, $120 million. So he's making 30 million a year. But if you actually break it down, he's not going to see it.
So this is an honest question. At what point do you think the bottom drops out on the NFL? Because they cannot keep going at this trajectory. Because the billionaires aren't getting hit for this. It's the fans. And eventually the fans are going to have enough and say, we're not feeding your, millions and millions of dollars. I think they can't be far off.
I think it's farther than you think because of the TV deals. The TV deals, I think, are going to start exploding because Amazon's now coming in. Amazon's going to throw a ton of money at this because they want it on their site, and almost everybody has an Amazon Prime subscription now. I mean, if you're in the 21st century, don't have an Amazon Prime subscription, like somebody that does. You don't have Amazon for real?
I don't.
Valerie doesn't have it?
Nope.
Well, somebody that does. If it came to that, then
I do.
You know me, or Rob, or so. Like almost everybody has a subscription or knows. So that's going to be a ton of money because they've already bought. I think they bought Thursday night games. If I want to say, or something.
So wait, are we saying now there's going to be football games that I can't see unless I have an Amazon Prime account?
I think so. That might be the case. I don't know if it's Amazon Prime or not, but maybe Amazon will give it out for free as long as you have an Amazon account. Yes, Prime.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I have an Amazon account. I do business or transactions on Amazon.
You don't pay the $99 a year for all the free shipping and everything? So you pay for all your shipping?
No, most of the stuff I buy, if I buy over $50 worth, is free shipping anyway. But right. I know the argument. One guy I know talks about the one day a year where you have to be Amazon Prime and they give ridiculously low, like you can buy a 60-inch TV for $200 that they give. So he's like, if you don't join for any other reason, join it because of that one day you can get ridiculous deals on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they have Prime Day. What is it, June or July 16th or July 12th or something?
It's sometime in the summer. You're right. It's June or July. I can't remember, but it's definitely like you want to be a Prime member because you can get stupid deals on stuff.
Yeah, it's like the Black Friday of online. They already have Cyber Monday, but this is pretty good for here. It's
By the way, is Skin Them Alive trying to suck up to you right now?
No, he just knows genius when he sees it. Okay, it is what it is.
Hold on,
the TV deals are $250 million per team. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's like a lot of money.
That's like 8 billion. Am I right for 32 teams?
That's a lot of money. Yeah, that might be too high, Santiago. Is it really that high?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would be pretty surprised because I'm pretty sure the revenue of the NFL is only supposed to be like $5.5 billion, and that includes ticket sales. So if TV deals is already going to be $8 billion itself, and then you have $130, $140 a ticket because it's going to continue to go up, like that's another. I think per team.
You're saying the entire NFL revenue is 5-point-something billion
per year.
That seems low to me, but I can't argue with it for 32
the ticket
teams.
sales alone, I think it was like 3 million ish.
3
3.5 million
million or 3
a
billion?
billion.
Thank you. Okay,
Billion with a B. Billion with a B.
And by the way, well, we're going to get to the subject of Dan Snyder in a little bit. I don't want to talk about him yet, but
yeah. But anyway, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money based on what I thought the numbers were. I mean, that's basically doubling, including the money that they get from actual ticket sales, which is around 3 billion, I believe. And then if you add that on top of the 8, that's 11 million. That's double what I thought the revenue was per team. Like, that's pretty wild. So anyway, so coming back down to earth.
Land the plane. Let's get back on the runway. We got way off in the ditches.
Right. So
we're off the side of the road.
We're on the same page as Terry. Daron Payne is a little bit interesting to me because I read this line and I don't remember this. Maybe somebody in the chat can remind me if they remember hearing this. But according to this profootballrumors.com, Sam Robinson is the writer, says Ron Rivera said in February the Commanders viewed Terry McLaurin and Daron Payne as extension targets. Now, Terry McLaurin, I'm not surprised by that at all. But I don't remember him mentioning Daron Payne as a guy that they're targeting to extend, considering really on the sideline shenanigans, how deep they are at defensive line. Excuse me, how they really needed a quarterback. They just paid Jonathan Allen, and you have other money coming down the road. Then they did Carson Wentz and all this kind of stuff where I don't remember Daron Payne as a particular target for us, and that changes things to me.
Well, but hold on a second.
Yeah.
After I know we talked about this pre-show, and I had a chance to think about it, and it makes sense to me that if you got somebody that you potentially want to trade or get something for, then you can't say we're done with Daron Payne. Because you want, right? So maybe they're potentially looking at possibly trying to trade him and getting something for him. So they have to say, yeah, he's in our plans. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I just thought about that it's not true, huh?
Daron Payne 2 hours ago. Interesting. Daron Payne 2 hours ago tweeted, if y'all think I walked out of practice, you goofy. We always working.
So where did you see that?
Everywhere. If you just Googled Daron Payne, it was reported he walked out of practice. This is SB Nation. Report. Daron Payne has decided to sit out of on the field portion of OTAs. Fansided. Daron Payne walks off the field at OTAs and Commanders contract dispute. Athletic. Commander Daron Payne walks off the field and practice field. Bleacher Report. Commanders Daron Payne walks off practice field over the contract dispute. Like, it was everywhere on here. Just to pull this up, I mean, I'm sure you could even pull up more news. Latest news under.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying. So maybe they got bad intel, or maybe
Commander's Wire. But here's the tweet right here. Daron Payne, a verified account, 20,000 followers, whatever. If y'all think I walked out of practice, you goofy. We always working. # most hated. Jonathan Allen, they don't get it, bruh. Let them talk, and come season, they'll know what's up. So Jonathan Allen seconding that. Interesting. Yeah, Ben Standing was apparently the one who reported this. Commander Canada says, I think you need to address this. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I'm happy about that. That's great news.
Hey, and the fact that Jonathan Allen backed him up on it, that's good too. Like, maybe it's somebody got bad intel and ran with it without verifying it, which that never happens in the news. So
Yeah, like apparently Ben Standig was the one that reported that, but you can keep going. Sorry, I'm gonna look for this tweet. His tweet.
No. I said what I was going to say. Because this happens all the time where somebody finds some bit of news and runs with it, and then afterwards realizes, okay, I had bad intel. So
The Raiders are apparently reported to work out Colin Kaepernick.
I know that's old news. Whether or not that, I know that what is the owner's son? I know I can see the face of the father who passed away, and I think his son's running the team, and he said that if the coaches want to bring him in, I'm all for it, 100% for it. What's Flores? What is not Flores? What is the family that owns the Raiders? I'm totally drawing a blank.
Oh, Just Win Baby, right? That guy, his son.
Yeah, because he always wore. Yeah, the father always wore the sunglasses and looked like a mob. I mean, he looked like a mobster to me. Like he had the slick back hair.
Yeah,
But
fair enough. Well, hold on. All right.
Davis. Thank you.
Davis. Yes, Al Davis. There you go. Al Davis.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right, but here's this. Here's the May 24th Ben Standig news. In addition to Terry McLaurin and Chase Young skipping OTA session, Commanders Daron Payne walked off the field during practice and declined to participate in team drills due to lagging contract talks. Interesting. I don't know. I'm very that's really interesting because I was starting to put pieces like if at first I was like, what are you doing? Like, that's so weird. I mean, you're getting paid $8.5 million this year, which, maybe to him is not a whole lot of money considering where he could be. But most people play their final year of their 5th-year contract. And then next year they go out and hit the open market and get their deal, assuming that the team that has you right now can't afford to sign you. And then I was thinking the Ron Rivera, like he was saying that the contract, like he's one of the ones that we want to extend. And then it's like, okay, maybe he has a leg to stand on here, but now this is all fake, apparently, according to our 2 defensive linemen. So that's interesting.
Well, and is there a distinction, or I was just thinking about the term walks off the practice field, that there is leaving and like walking into the locker room and being gone, or it's just standing over on the side and not being on the practice field. Which is that a distinction worth noting here, or is that?
So you think that Daron is being a little pedantic here of like, hey, I never left practice, but Ben Standig is basically saying, hey, he opted not to participate in team drills.
That's what that's the only thing I can figure out or think of why Ben Standing is like, oh, he walked off the practice field. And again, it's a relative term. I could be on the field practicing and walk to the sideline and say, I'm not going out there anymore. Or I could make a big scene and walk into the locker room, take off my uniform and leave.
Right.
So maybe that's the distinction. I don't know. But
yeah,
somebody's either A, somebody's lying, or B, somebody got bad info. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Okay.
Somebody ain't telling the truth, whether they know it or not.
Clearly something's afoot. And yeah, he never said anything like that. Who's he? I'm not sure. I'm not sure who he.
I'm guessing he's talking about Daron Payne.
I mean, he said that if you think I walked off the field, you goofy. We always working.
Yeah, and then in all fairness too, I would think it'd be stupid if Daron Payne still was within his 5-year rookie contract to set that tone for the league, because teams are not going to like somebody that is a grandstander or is a.
Yeah, Jarris mentioned that yesterday of like, if he did this, he's just hurting himself because now other teams are viewing him as a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. Take it from the horse's mouth. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You know what? I'm not making any judgment one way or the other. I don't know. But hey, we see Daron Payne addressing it, and that's good. Jonathan Allen seconding it. I trust Jonathan Allen. I love his character. He's super high character. So with Jonathan Allen being on the side of Daron Payne, I'm cool with it. And you know what? I'll be on the player's side here. I think that this was completely false reporting, and Daron Payne is not being a problem. And I love to hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want him this year. We need him this year to make maybe a playoff run and see where we could go. And I love that. That's great, great, great news for the
By the way,
Washington
Peter
Commanders.
took a little good-natured ribbing to Jarris. I thought that was funny.
Taken from Jarris's mouth. The guy or something yesterday. Yeah, Durant. Hey, Jarris, he has his opinions. A very strong, opinionated guy. Love Jarris. He's a good dude. But yes, he's a guy that you could totally argue with. I mean, I've had plenty of arguments with Jarris on a lot of them on game day. Oh, oh yeah, he knows how to frustrate you, but he's a good dude. All right, well, let's hop into the land being bought by the team. So apparently in Woodbridge, Virginia, it was initially reported in Dumfries, Virginia, which was about, I think, another 20 minutes south of Woodbridge, but apparently it's now being corrected to Woodbridge, Virginia. And they also have revealed some stuff of what the stadium could look like. Actually, I should have had that ready and up. I may
By the way,
pull that
before
up,
you
but
go much further, I read and I was wondering about this, that they bought the $100 million worth of land
yep.
somewhere, I think in Prince William County, and then they mentioned that they bought an additional 10 acres or whatever it was in Woodbridge. So I wasn't absolutely certain that the big purchase was in Woodbridge. I thought the way the article, and I can't find it right now, but the way it was written was confusing, or it wasn't clear on if the original $100 million purchase was in Woodbridge, or if that was just the additional land they bought. Did you see that? Or I didn't.
My initial thing that I saw was Dumfries, and then I was seeing people correcting it to Woodbridge. Deal to buy land in Woodbridge, 200 acres of land in Woodbridge, Virginia, according to WUSA9.com. The team may buy the $100 million parcel of land in Prince William County, but the organization still says it is considering several locations in the DMV. So I guess it's
Okay.
not official.
I found the article. This is Rigo's rag. So
Yeah.
they said on Monday, the Commanders made their biggest step yet in that regard, as ESPN's John Kahn reported the franchise forked over more than $100 million for land in Virginia. Doesn't say where. It says a deal was finalized last week, but has not yet been filed with Prince William County. So we know what's in Prince William County. The purchase totals 200 acres, and Keim understands Washington is pondering buying another 65 to 70 acres at a site close to I-96 in Woodbridge. But this article does not clarify where the 200 acres was purchased. So
Gotcha.
That's what I was confused about. Is like, okay, where was the 200 acres purchased? It's in Prince William County, but I don't know if it's intentionally vague or if it's
right.
I don't know.
So these are apparently some potential designs they have of the stadium. They also have a practice field and I guess the team facility with like all the offices and stuff like that. And I guess
Did
here's
you
the
see?
stadium at the distance.
Yeah, I saw that the roof is going to be opaque, so it's going to let light through, and then they can change the colors of that right there. That picture right there, they said it could be white during the day, burgundy and gold at night. They can actually change the colors of the outside of the stadium.
This is a pretty cool stadium, I got to admit.
Like, no, I thought it was
stadium.
really cool.
And so a lot of people want a dome. I went to Edwards Jones Dome in St. Louis, and I understand the benefits of the dome completely. Like the benefits of the dome are clear and evident. You can avoid the weather. It doesn't matter if it's snowing. It doesn't matter if it's lightning and thundering. It's clear and evident why the dome is preferred. But I have to say, I didn't like the experience as much in a dome as I did outside. I don't know
Well,
why. Like
you
it
know
was
why they're
different.
doing a dome. There's only one reason
You want
why
a Super
they want
Bowl?
to do a dome. Do you want a Super Bowl there?
Yeah.
Guaranteed. That's the biggest moneymaker. So you got to have a dome in a snow in an area that has possibility of snow in February. That the only way you're going to get a Super Bowl is with a covered stadium.
Right. Well, New York did get it without one, but that's New York, right? You're not getting it if you're Washington.
Yeah, but
But
how long ago was that? I don't think that's happening again. Maybe I'm wrong.
it wasn't as long as ago as you think. Like 2014, maybe 2015, 2014, somewhere in there. They had gotten a Super Bowl. But again, it's New York City, so I'm sure they spent a lot of money. They greased somebody up pretty good to get that. But I know you don't go to games anymore, but as somebody that did go to games in Maryland, and you know how it worked and everything, and there people were talking about how horrible the traffic is, and I understand nothing's set in stone. They haven't technically bought it yet. This is just an option that they're going through, but the traffic in I mean Virginia is known as the biggest parking lot in the world, right? It's just such horrible traffic going up and down 95. Do you think this is a good idea on Sunday, which a lot of people travel down 95 Sunday afternoon? Like it's horrible traffic on the weekends and it's horrible traffic during the week as well. So it's not like Monday nights or Thursday nights are going to be any better. Do you think this is a good idea to be right off 95 in Virginia?
Look, and I'm biased. By the way, Jarris, yeah, Tampa Bay got a Super Bowl. They're in Florida. They don't get a lot of snow down there. Sorry. but um no, I mean, of course, I'm biased. I'm from Maryland. When I
Yeah,
lived up there, I was 20 minutes from the stadium. So being in Prince William County, where now I'm driving an hour, or well, would be. I'm not doing that now, obviously,
yeah.
but I agree with you that the being in the mixing bowl at 95 South and trying to go south with I've driven Saturday morning leaving Maryland to go south and hit traffic in that area at the most obscure times. So
Hmm.
that's going to be a nightmare. But the bottom line is money and what the government. I heard that Prince William County or that Virginia has offered to basically fund the stadium at $350 million or something and all that. So
Hmm.
that's they don't care about what you have to go through to get there. They just care about who's giving them the best deal.
Right. And people will come, right? Build it, they will come.
Yes.
Maybe people won't like it, but they still will come, right? Especially if you start winning, and that's a big if. But this is another good point. No, it's a money move all year round. They want to use the facility all year for concerts, events, and other things. Super Bowl would be a plus, uh, which is definitely a fair
No,
comment
that's
for
good.
sure.
That's a good point. And if they do what they're talking about with the restaurants and making it a whole experience, then I think it's going to be a great thing. And it gives you the ability of getting there early, stay later, um, without having to stand out in a freezing parking lot to be in a somewhat environmentally controlled area.
Hmm.
I think it's a sound decision. I I'm glad I don't have season tickets to them anymore.
Yeah,
I'll
having to
be
drive
watching
down
it at
there.
the
Oh,
local pub.
yeah, that's insane. And yeah, I don't go to games anymore either because I do this the play-by-play on here. So yeah, but I do wanted to I this year I want to go to a preseason game, which is well, obviously this year it's not going to make a difference because it's still going to be in Landover. But in the future, yeah, if I wanted to go to a preseason game or something like that's going to stink having to drive all the way down there. And I don't know, but it is what it is. And but I also thought, aren't you just giving up on Maryland fans? Like you're just giving the Marylander fans now to Baltimore,
No,
right?
and I understand but you're looking at it from a different perspective. You got governments that don't want to work with the team. So they're going to go. It doesn't have anything to do with how they feel about Maryland fans. It has to do with the fact that Virginia wants them and is hanging the carrot out in front of them going, hey, we'll give you this. We'll pay for the stadium, and because all the revenue and all the stuff you're going to bring into that area, here, lay out the red carpet. So they're not thinking about the fans. It's not a shot at Maryland fans at all. It's a shot at the Maryland government and the DC government, who can't freaking come up with an agreement to say, hey, let's build a new stadium on RFK, redo all this stuff, give the team the tax breaks they want, and and then, like I said, open the venue up for concerts throughout the year. Because I had a conversation with a guy a while ago that was like, 8 games a year is not, and at the time it was 8, but 8 games a year is not enough to bring the city enough revenue. It doesn't work, and it's like, okay, but if they build a really cool stadium in a really cool environment, they can have concerts, they can have stuff going on there all year long, and the city's going to make a boatload of money. But they're too short-sighted to say, oh, well, this rich guy wants us to pay for it. Well, of course he does. That's what rich people do.
Yeah, the richer you are, the less you pay for.
Right. I mean, it's like, hey, and if we're not beneficial to you and you don't want to do it, then fine, we'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I like this design. I just liked the idea that I came up with before. Like, I was talking to you about it. I think I started thinking about it. Is I think whatever they do, they need to build some parking garages on one side of the stadium. That's got to be what they do. And then on the other side, they can build all their restaurants. And like I was telling you before the show, then have a monorail that picks people up from the parking garages, just a big train or something, several cars.
Yeah, just a steady, there's a steady flow of trains every 5 minutes.
And then he goes over to the other side, drops everybody off. You come back around, you pick more people, you drop them off. And it's just a quick little cycle thing. The whole thing will probably take 5-10 minutes to get around the whole thing, whatever it is, 7 minutes and 37 seconds. And it would be perfect, I think. And then at the end of the game, everybody hops on the monorail from the place. And also because you could go to the game without tickets at that point.
Yeah,
and you
could
can still
just hang out
charge.
in the pub, right?
Yeah, still charge for parking. Everybody that comes in there, right? And then people
Just
will
hang
just
out
end
in
up
the
going to the
sports
pub.
bars, right? And you get it's.
And if you owned all of the buildings there, you get a cut of everybody's revenue. Well, it would become
lease out the space. Yep.
It would come in form of lease payments, but like it's at least you're getting money for all of that space. I think that would be awesome. And then parking garages, I think that would be a great move. Like 5, 6, 7 parking garages. Who knows? Who cares? I think that would be good. Ella, Tim, could you imagine the traffic inside parking garages when everyone is trying to arrive and leave at the same time? I mean, you could design parking garages to have several exits. Like, it doesn't need to be just one exit. Like, most parking garages you see have one in and one out. But the one at Maryland Live has like 2 huge exits, like 5 lanes.
Oh,
out.
At least.
Yeah. And so yeah, you could have parking garages designed to have a lot of traffic be able to get in and out. But no matter where you are in a parking lot or wherever, I mean, it's going to take a while to get out wherever you are. It's just going to stink because
but see,
there's so many cars.
To your point earlier, though, is if you have bars and restaurants and stuff where you're not necessarily going to have all 60,000 people trying to leave at the same time. A lot of them are going to go back into the entertainment alley or restaurant, whatever you want to call it. Go in there, have some drinks, hang out, watch the 4 o'clock game or watch the 8 o'clock game. And they're in no hurry to leave. So you don't necessarily have 60,000 people like FedEx Field, which is when the game's over, we have nothing left to do. Everybody wants to leave. Or you hang out in the parking lot for an hour.
Right. Yeah, and great point. Great point. Because not everybody after the game is immediately going to leave. They're going to do so. Yeah. But if I'm pulling out of my spot, you have to wait for me to pull out. Now imagine that happens anyway. A bunch of people are waiting to pull out, and then you have to I got hit waiting to get out of a parking garage once, or not a parking lot at one of the cash lots at the stadium. Somebody tried to cut me off and drive around me into the parking spaces. I said, screw you. I pulled up. It's like, no, I'm waiting in line just like everybody else. And they ended up cutting me off and hitting the front of my car. And yeah, so I mean, traffic was already a nightmare. And then I ended up leaving last. And even though she was drunk, they didn't give her a ticket, they didn't arrest her, nothing. She got her paperwork first and was able to leave before me anyway. And then I was treated like I was the criminal. Like I got out of the car to take the pictures. They were like, take your pictures and get back in the vehicle. And then meanwhile, they're like flirting with her the entire time, like treating her like she's a princess or something. It was horrible.
Well, she
But
was
anyway,
drunk. They figured they had a good chance.
maybe. And then afterwards, after she leaves, I get out of the car. I was like, what was going on? Like, was she not drinking? She was like, well, a lot of people are drinking right now. Like, what the heck is your problem? So you know? If they knew I was, and I wasn't drinking at that time, I quit drinking at Skins games at that time, so I wasn't like but if they knew I was drunk, I would have been in the back of that cop car in 2.5 seconds. Like it would be the fastest arrest of all time. It would have been amazing. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible getting in and out no matter what we do. So you have 80,000 people parking in a lot close to a stadium. It's going to be tough to get out, but it's still, I think it'd be a really cool idea. And you could design them to get as many cards out as possible in a fast way and have the parking garages leave on different exits. So they just hit the different streets. And maybe each parking lot has an exit directly to 95. Right? Like you just line them up across 95 almost, and just the exit takes you right onto 95, and you have like 7 exits at once, just right onto 95. And there's some interesting stuff you could do. I think there's
Yeah,
some
and
ways
I
you could do
agree. And like I said before, if you give a reason to stay,
it. Hmm.
that and people know. I mean, you know us. We tailgated before and we tailgated afterwards because we
Yep.
knew getting out of there was a nightmare.
Hmm.
And there was a lot. We weren't the only ones. We'd stay for it out. We would sit there and watch the exit, or where, and it was like we hung out,
Played
played
cornhole.
cornhole,
Yep.
or had some food and snack stuff, and just hung out in the parking lot. Then we saw it clear up. Then we got in the car and left. So if you give people, in addition to the people that will do that, you give people a reason to stay where there's, like I said, next, like you're playing at 1 and Dallas is playing at 4. How many people are going to jump into the local sports bar or sports bars
Hmm.
and watch these games? So I think it could work.
Here's an interesting question here from Johnny Boy 26. What game in the season are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, is that to me?
I have one in mind.
I say Dallas.
I think the Monday Night Eagles game with
Oh, that's a
Carson
good one.
Wentz going against his
That's a
old
good one
team. I
too.
think
Yep.
that one's going to be really interesting. I think
Oh, and the Colts game actually should be interesting too.
week 1 against Jacksonville. Jacksonville
Yeah.
knocked them out of the playoffs last year. I mean, there's a lot of interesting games, but I would go with the Eagles Monday night game. I think that would be an interesting one. All right, Tim, thought on Dan Snyder getting voted out. Tim, that's what's next, and
It's like he's
apparently
psychotic.
it's like he's psychotic. Apparently, so the rumor is that the owners are now starting to count votes on voting Dan Snyder out of the league, out of ownership. And when Roger Goodell was asked about this, he said he was not aware of any such vote going to take place. Do you believe Roger Goodell or do you believe the rumor?
Okay, number one, what Roger Goodell has this much validity. Can you see it?
I gotcha.
He either way, that's the only answer he's given. If it's 100% true or it's 100% false, he's not going to say anything other than I'm not aware of that. This is why I think there's, and look, I'm like a lot of people where, man, I'm so tired of Dan Snyder. I'm just sick of him. I tried to defend him for a while, but I've had enough of him. But this is the thing. When you you can do a lot of stuff. Jerry Jones can do a lot of stuff. The other owners be like, they're like, don't see anything, can't see anything here. You take money out of the other team's pockets, now you have a problem. So that's the only reason I'm the slightest bit optimistic that this might be coming to a head. Because now you're taking money from, it's like, hey, you can do your own thing and be a screw up. I don't care. But now you're taking money out of my pocket. I have a problem with that. So I agree. I'm not saying I believe it. The unknown IZM. I 100% agree. I'll believe it. I said that last night talking to your uncle. I said, I'll believe it when I see it. But like I said, when you talk about taking money out of their pockets, now you've got their attention. So it is possible. Maybe only 0.1%, but
what makes it actually pretty interesting to be possible is it only takes 24 owners out of the 32.
well, that's 3/4, so that's not a small number.
Yeah, but that's a lot more. I thought for some reason it had to be unanimous to get another one out, which is interesting.
No, I'm pretty sure you.
Well, now I know it's not. I'm seeing it right here. It's 24 owners, but
No,
that was
I'm
my
just
initial
saying
thought. Was that?
I was just going to say, I don't think you get a unanimous decision about anything in the NFL with the owners. So if you went for unanimous, you'd never have anything.
Yeah, but 24 owners, 3/4 of the way, to vote it out, because you got to think that none of the NFC East are voting yes. They all want Dan Snyder to stay, right? Like, why would you want him out at this point, right? I don't. It's interesting because who wouldn't vote him out? I don't know. I would love for that to happen though. I would
Well,
love
and to Peter's point, Jeff Bezos is much better at customer experience. He would get that which I think Dan Snyder doesn't. And like I said to you, Tim, before we started the show, Dan made his money off of telemarketing. That's all you need to know. What is the worst thing in your day is to get, hello, hey, I'm trying to sell insurance or whatever.
Car extended warranties.
Yeah. So
I'm here to pay off your student loan debt that you don't have. Like, okay, thanks. Yeah, it's bad. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I want it bad, so bad. I want it so bad, and that almost certainly means it's not going to happen.
by the way, the beard he's sporting now just does not fit him. It cracks me up.
The Dan Snyder beard.
Yeah, he's trying to be all incognito now. It's like he puts a baseball cap on, nobody knows where he is or who he is.
He's trying to be. It's like the Zorro mask, right? Who is it? I can't tell. I can't tell who it is.
Well, it's like Superman putting on glasses and nobody can tell he's Superman.
Yeah.
No, that's Clark Kent. He's got glasses on.
Yeah, that's Clark Kent. Oh, that's funny. Speaking of Superman, I saw the Blue Angels today. I watched.
I heard they were there for the cadets, right? Graduation.
Yeah, and it was funny. So we were over by the crap. I don't remember what bridge it was, but basically the planes fly right over this bridge, and they were so there's a group of 4 that fly together, and then there's 2 other ones that will like do more tricks and more things separate, and like they fly together. And so the 4 were flying across in a diamond and had everybody's attention, right? And I had literally just recorded this, and I stopped the recording and I looked back to the left because I figured one of the 2 was going to be coming from the left. Well, nobody else looked. And I looked over, and this plane was coming in hot. Like
I've seen the
fastest of all the plane, like the fastest of any of them coming over, probably 700 miles an hour, like booking it. Like I didn't even have time to warn Jake from when I saw it to when it was already over top of us. And so I saw it happen, and I watched this thing go across, and everybody else's head's this way, and it's coming from here. Dad, when I tell you the crowd hit the deck, like it like, boom, like a girl scraped her knee. Like she literally went all the way down to the ground. It was actually pretty hysterical. Like the whole crowd went, whoa! It hit the deck. But it was pretty cool to see the
No, I've
Blue
seen
Angels.
them at in Patuxent Naval Air Base and also at Andrews. They were there, Andrews Air Force Base. They were there as guests, and they did the same thing where they had the diamond formation, and then one plane went up in the air and just went out of sight,
Mm-hmm.
and that you were watching the other planes and you kind of forgot about it. Then, like a minute later, that plane comes over the hangar behind everybody, wide, just although they only run one afterburner and shows, so it's not full board, but as fast as they can go, he comes right over back over the hangar,
Mm-hmm.
like 100 feet off the ground, and everybody's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
So I
it
know
happened for
exactly what you're
sure.
talking about.
All right. Well, the last thing I wanted to touch on before we go on, because the Dan Snyder news, it's interesting that they're counting votes, but we just don't know what's going to happen. It is what it is. Anything can happen at this point. He could stay. He could leave himself, or he could get kicked out. I mean, I feel like all options potentially are on the table. Who knows what in the world is going to go on there? But just a couple of things, questions about this team. How bullish are you on this team this year? And are we the team to beat in the NFC East right now?
Well, there's a couple question marks I have, um, which doesn't mean it's going to be a problem, but there's the safety issue,
Uh-huh.
the middle linebacker issue, and
Uh-huh.
then the third thing um, I'm not sure of is Logan Thomas, and whether I know he's aiming to be back week one. There's some question about whether or not he can be back. So beyond that, I'm excited to see what this receiving core can do with
Mm-hmm.
Samuels, um,
Jahan Dotson, the rookie.
Dotson, and McLaurin. Um, the running back core they got, what Carson Wentz is going to do. So I think we got a lot. I personally think we have a lot of upside, but
Uh-huh.
I know I've been beaten down so many times before. I wouldn't say I'm bullish, but I would not at all be surprised to see them take the division and be in a position of making it to the playoffs. But I wouldn't say I'm bullish. I'm optimistic.
So are we the team to beat in your mind? Like with the upgrade at quarterback, we were 7-10 last year with Taylor Heineke in a game that was just riddled with COVID. That it was impossible to win. Basically, we beat the Super Bowl champs the previous year of Tampa Bay. We had that 4-game win streak. We also played horrible, like a horrible lane of quarterbacks, like just death row basically with Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, uh, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson. I mean, the list of quarterbacks we played, Matt Ryan, even he's been a previous Super Bowl MVP. The list of quarterbacks we played was just horrible last year. This year we only played like two. I think we played Rodgers, and then we may play one other decent one. We play Matt Ryan again, but not in Atlanta. We play.
Well, and you're
It's
making a
interesting.
ballot. I get your point,
Yeah.
but here's my question, and it's an honest question. Why wouldn't Dallas be the team to beat?
Well, they lost Amari Cooper, which Amari Cooper, when he was in the game, their offense looked a whole lot better than when he was out of the game. Like he was actually a big difference maker on that team. Big Country, the Cowboy fan that comes into the chat sometimes, he talked about that a lot, where Amari Cooper was a big reason that offense would move. And also, if you remember back in, I believe, 2018, that Dallas's offense was not all that great to start that year. And then they traded the first round pick for Amari Cooper, and then their offense really started to thrive. So they lost their number one weapon. Jarris actually brought up an interesting point. Their other two receivers, CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, were in the top 3 last year in drops when you considered receivers over 150 catches or 150 targets, I think, or something like that. They were in top 3
No,
of
it's a
drops.
valid point.
So now they're the receiver 1 and receiver 2 over there. They lost their right tackle Lel Collins. I don't think that their first round pick was very good with Tyler Smith. I think that's interesting.
What about Mika?
Oh, Micah's a beast. Micah
Micah.
Parsons is nasty. He's amazing.
So, all right.
Okay.
So here, let me turn this back on you.
Yeah.
Tell me record-wise where the NFC East falls. Top 1 to 4.
All right, I'll be biased. Us.
I mean, you don't have
Eagles,
to give numbers, but
us, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants.
Okay. It's not. I mean, it's not a bad. It's not like I'm saying, oh man, you must be smoking crack. Which a couple other years I might have said that.
Love to hear that from my dad. No, just kidding. But no, I think us, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. And honestly, I'm just going to put us up there because it's the bias. It is. You could throw us anywhere in that. Honestly, I would probably put us at either 1 or 2. But the point is, the other 3, that's where I have them. I think I have the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants. The Eagles, because I think they have the best coach out of the other 3 teams. And they also have added a lot of weapons. I like what they did in the draft. I like what they did this offseason. I don't like their quarterback, but I think that they already won 9 games last year. They have a pretty easy schedule this year. And I think that they have even more weapons around him now. So I like them. And then
So you don't like Dallas's quarterback, Mr. Donut?
I think Dak is overrated by a lot of people. I don't have him in my top 10 quarterbacks right now. I think a lot of people would have him in their top 10.
I'm sorry. Did I say I meant coach? What's his name?
Mike McCarthy.
Mr. Donut. That's what I meant.
Mike McCarthy.
Because your uncle always says he needs to have another donut.
CeeDee Lamb had 4 drops. That's not a lot. It's more than you might think because a receiver usually don't have that many drops. Because also, I think those are like literally drops. Those aren't like being deflected away or anything. Those are just straight up drops. But I would have to look up because I think the leader is like 8 or 9 usually on a year, and that's like usually a guy that's by himself. So 4 is not great. But I don't know if that's but Jarris made it seem like he had 8 drops. Yeah, I mean he said he was in the top 3. So I don't know. Like I was going off that on what he said. So, and when I brought it up, that's what he said. Or when I brought it up, I mentioned that's who said it. So I don't know. Like, was Jamar Chase dropping balls? Well, he didn't drop many balls in the regular season. He dropped a lot of passes in preseason. That was the weird part. But I don't know. Interesting. All right. Cool. Well, we could talk about other things another day. We've gone over an hour, so appreciate the content. Appreciate all of you that hung out with us tonight, and all of the commenters. A lot of you commenting. It was a lot of fun. So,
and by the way, again, Tim, I want to say safe travels. Stay in touch. I hope you guys have a ball, and we'll see everybody here in 2 weeks.
Yes, I will not be here next week, so remember that. So, but 2 weeks from now, we will be back for sure. And then also 2 weeks from now, I may have some other people on the channel potentially. So that should be fun. But
Skins of the game pushing me out.
If only it was so easy. No, I was just kidding. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I really think Hurts is like Heineke without the moxie and a durability as a more durability as a runner. I mean, he's definitely a better runner. He's 1,000% a better runner.
Stronger arm. I don't know if I could say that or not. True. He doesn't seem to have the power arm. So
fair enough. Well, all right. That's it. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, you can share this video out if you'd like. Appreciate that. You can become a member now. There's a member option. You can become a member of the channel if you'd like to support the channel that way. Just for $1 a month, you could become a member. And there's some other options if you would like to donate more as well. But and then I will definitely work on more member content in the future as we get more members and figure out what we want to do with that. But as for now, if you just would like to support it that way, you can. And then also there's the super thanks button underneath now. You could donate that way as well if you'd like to support the channel. But appreciate all of you for just watching and hanging out and all the comments. And any last things to say there, Daddy-O?
Nope, I'm good. Hey, have a great week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Awesome. And until next time, see you!